And joining me now, we have Maine's Attorney General, Aaron Frey. Aaron, thank you so much for being here. So the DOJ alleges that your state is violating Title IX, which mandates equal opportunities for men and women in sports. What do you say to that?
Well, we understand what they're arguing, as has been made clear by our governor back in February, and as we've maintained from the very beginning. We are confident that Title IX, along with the Maine Human Rights Act, supports the position that our state is taking, which is trans athletes do have the right to participate in the sport that they identify with. It's been happening for years. It's been done safely and with all respect to privacy. And for Maine to change course now, I believe, would put us in contravention of what Title IX and the Maine Human Rights Act really support, which is making sure there's access, full equity, and engagement in sports. So that's why we're confident in the position we're taking.
And Governor Mills said, quote, for nearly 2 months, Maine has endured recriminations from the federal government that have targeted hungry school kids, hardworking fishermen, senior citizens, new parents, and countless Maine people. Can you give us a sense of just how the Trump administration has targeted each of these groups?
Well, as the governor had teed up, what we've seen is these indiscriminate efforts to try and target Maine, whether it be cutting an anti-fraud program, the enumeration at birth program that the Social Security Administration had cut at one point, Sea Grant, which affects important research at our University of Maine. These have been specifically targeted examples of where the Trump administration, outside really of Title IX and what it allows for targeting, is trying to make Maine bend to the Trump administration's will. We're going to follow the rule of law. And even though the Trump administration is trying to bully the state of Maine, is trying to cajole the state of Maine into not following Title IX and not following the Maine Human Rights Act, we are sure that the rule of law will be upheld, that Title IX will be read consistent with the way we read it. And we are happy to see the precedent in court where we can have a court decide what the law is.
Governor Mills mentioned politically motivated investigations that opened and closed without discussion. Can you tell us what she is referring to there? I mean, who were the targets and who launched those investigations?
Sure. So I can't speak specifically to what the governor was referring to, but one example that I can give that seems crystal clear is when the USDA sent a letter, the secretary sent a letter saying, we're going to stop your programs unless you do what we say or else. And then USDA just cut funding. No process, did not follow any of the laws or rules that go with what they were required to do. In fact, we went to court immediately, got a court to issue an order in just 24 hours that confirmed our position that the USDA did not follow the law in doing what they did. So that's the clearest example of where the administration is just tripping over itself to violate the law and try to get Maine to do what it wants to do. But look, we are going to follow the law. We're going to follow our oaths to the Constitution and laws of the United States and of Maine, and we're going to make the Trump administration follow the law as well. This accountability is important, and we expect this accountability will be available through the court process that we see playing out.
Can I ask you quickly if the USDA funds have been restored to the farmers there in Maine yet? Yes or no?
My understanding is that they have been turned back on because we got a court order that directed the USDA to turn it back on.
Okay. Well done then. All right. Maine's Attorney General Aaron Frey. Sir, thank you so much for your time.